If you gave one person a fork and one person a spoon and had them battle it out, who do you think would win? Well, it entirely depends on what the nature of the battle is and how we define a win. Are we talking about a fight to the death, or the first one on the ground? Or something more civil, like who could eat more food with their utensil, or less? Or how about this for the victory? The person who consumes less calories with the exact same food, without even thinking about it. In fact, there's some fascinating research being done about how much or how little we naturally consume when we use one type of utensil over another, and it's the subject of this new video. One of the many things we learn as children is that we eat certain types of foods with certain utensils. As long as the choice makes some kind of sense, we never question it. But if you want to shed some pounds in a pain-free way, you might want to reconsider, because there's some persuasive evidence now suggesting that one common utensil may be causing you to overeat, and that there's a more slimming and equally common alternative. Such evidence was gathered by the Food and Brand Lab at Cornell University and published in early 2016. It came from a study wherein a group of volunteers were given either a fork or a spoon, and then a variety of bite-sized foods to sample, including brownies, cake, and Jell-O. After the first sample, the volunteers were asked to guess how many calories were in the food, and to state how many additional pieces they would like to eat. And here's where it gets interesting. The volunteers tended to underestimate the calories if they ate the foods with a spoon, and they tended to overestimate the calories if they ate them with a fork. As a result, they felt free to eat additional servings of the foods if they had a spoon as opposed to a fork. But why? The researchers believe that foods are tasted more gradually when eaten with a spoon, meaning that the bites appear to be smaller than when eaten with a fork. So they concluded that when we have the choice, we should definitely choose a fork to avoid overeating, especially with such decadent and high-calorie foods. Other research is coming up with similar results. A 2015 study recently reported that fork users eat slower and consume less than spoon users, even when the duration of the meals is similar. And a somewhat related third study found that food tends to taste a lot better with silver utensils compared to cheaper materials. For example, one group of study participants rated a sample of yogurt as 15% tastier when eaten with a silver spoon as opposed to a cheap plastic one. So, based on this information, spooning does have its place, but it's in bed on a cool autumn evening. But for portion control, the fork is where it's at.